project in 2016. Custom 1. I'm working with graphic design this 9 week because I wanted to updated business card for Brandy Gwen because her business card doesn't look so good. But I really didn't know how to do it and stuff, and then Mr. E told me to do a brochure, so I am doing a business card and a brochure. And the criteria on the business card, it's very basic, and it just has to be front and back, and it has to have her information, like her address and her phone numbers, in a basic design. And the criteria for the brochure, it's going to have the same information, like her address and her phone numbers, and then it's going to have the hours of DBT group, which it also has what DBT is, and the font is regular, and it's 18 points. My POS alignments. You're supposed to have 5, but I have 6. The first one is create an object using graphic design software. Well, I designed a brochure and a business card because she needed them, so yeah. The second one is communicating with others, like peers and others, and on design and content area. So I talked to Shaldo Pierce, Haley McCombs, Faith Hannah, and Lindsay Pierce on the brochure about the design. My third POS alignment is apply principles of design, layout, and typography appropriate for a project. I did a brochure, so my first attempt was to have something like a photo about Wise Mind, but I deleted it because I didn't like it, so I put owls instead because they represent being wise. And my layout is completely different from the first to the last edit. Like for my final one, I have a bunch of emojis because she goes through my emotions a lot, which is pretty good. My fourth one is follow safety when working with equipment. I didn't necessarily complete that one because I didn't work with a camera or anything, so I didn't use it. My fifth one is create presentations using presentation software. Well, I'm doing that right now. So, and my sixth one is manage the various file types. I sent everything that needed printed to Drew. I first saved it as a PSD, and then I saved it as a JPEG to send it to Drew so that he can actually print it. And my educational resources. It was kind of hard to figure out what I needed for an educational resource, so I used Online Export to map out the brochure, and then I looked up videos on YouTube on how the brochure is outlined, and then I looked up business cards on Adobe. My production timeline, October 8th through the 9th, I found graphics online and edited them in Photoshop, and then I put them on the brochure. October 10th, after I placed my photos, I decided what information I wanted to put on the brochure. October 11th and the 12th, I had found a bunch of emojis that relate to the reason why I made my brochure. And then October 13th, I decided on a design because I had 3 different designs for the brochure. Like the background, like the first one was going to have a pink background, didn't look right. The second one was going to have a green background, didn't look right. So I picked blue. And October 14th, I had a peer review. Haley McCombs, Shadow Pierce, Faith Hannah, and Lindsay Pierce all looked at it to see if it was okay. My 4 key detail technologies, I did 2 different softwares, so I put InDesign for the first one and then Photoshop. But I have 3 selected key feature technologies for InDesign. I have the shape tool. Like, I knew before I started working on the project that you could put things into Photoshop and stuff, but I didn't know that you could put a text into a shape, which is pretty cool. And the second one is the text tool. Pretty self-explanatory. I thought that the text tool, you could just do plain text on a plain design, but I started working and I found out that you could put text on a path, so like you could draw a squiggle and then you can get the path tool and it will write itself on that squiggle, which is pretty freaking cool. And my third one is the select tool. With the select tool, you can choose a selected item and drag it around, delete it, make it whatever way you want. And I have one key feature for Photoshop. It's the eyedropper tool. Like, you can change the color by picking a color you have already used by using the eyedropper tool. Today is the 10th, and I had Drew print my brochure the other day, and it didn't look right, so I fixed it. So I put different colors by using the eyedropper tool. And the one question that I had to figure out for myself was how to send my stuff to Drew. So I asked Shoutout, and she had showed me, and then she told me, and then I did it myself. So it's jefftech.resources, ITCT files server root, ITCT student assignment hand in, Drew, Shoutout, Iris. And these are just a bunch of pictures of my brochure. And the one on the bottom left is the final one for the inside, and then the one on the right is the final for the outside. And then those are my designs for my business card. And like I said, my peer review was Shoutout, Haley, Lindsay, and Faith. In a real world situation, like, I could use this on future jobs because like this skill will help me make different brochures for different people and business cards, and I can make my own business card for myself later on. And I'm done. What? An out? This is my custom project, and I'm Iris Larson. Thanks for watching.
Here we go again.